Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture on Anthropology of Paper 1. In today's class, we will be discussing about the scope and relevance of linguistic anthropology. What is linguistic anthropology? It is a study of how languages shapes and is shaped by human culture. It means both language and culture reinforce each other. For example, Indian society is based on respect for elders. This gets translated into language by the use of respected words like G in Hindi as a suffix and in many other languages with many other words. Similarly, we have the tendency to classify a culture rude or polite based on people how they speak the language. Next, it explores how people communicate, express identity and convey meanings through language with different social and cultural context. Here, I want to ask a question: why anthropologists study linguistics or language? First, humans are the only animals which have the ability to communicate through language, while other animals communicate through smell or sounds or visual messages, touching, and certain non-human primates communicate through body languages. Also, language is the window to culture. That is, we know culture includes values, beliefs, customs, traditions, and whatnot, almost everything. So, how this culture is being transmitted from one person to another? It is through language. So, this is one of the reasons why anthropologists, mainly cultural anthropologists who wants to study culture, needs to study languages. Third, while doing ethnographic studies, anthropologists, to understand the meanings within the cultural context, they need to understand the language better. Otherwise, there might be a difference in their opinion making as well as the real opinion which has been conveyed. For example, even in our Indian culture, Hindi is spoken in many states, but there are certain words which will convey the different meanings, but words will be similar. So, to understand the exact meaning, anthropologists should know or study the language. So, these are some of the reasons why anthropologists are interested in studying language. Let's see some of the key focus areas in linguistic anthropology. The first one is historical linguistics. It is a branch that focuses on the history and the evolution of language over time. It also examines how languages change, diverge, and derive from a common ancestor. For example, a research on Indo-European languages such as English, Spanish, Hindi, and Russian can provide the historical connections between the languages, and it will help us to reconstruct the origin from where it started or how it developed over a period of time, etc. Next, socio-linguistics. It explores the relationship between language and society. It emphasizes how linguistic choices and variations are influenced by social factors such as social class, ethnicity, gender, or age. Example, how we communicate with elders is very different from how we communicate with our friends. So, anthropologists try to understand these aspects to understand the nuances of culture much better. An example for social linguistic study is Linguistic Landscape Project. It tries to explore how digital communication platforms influence language use. Next is ethno-linguistics. So what is ethno-linguistics? It is a study that tries to examine the relationship between language and culture. Next, it focuses on how languages reflects and shapes cultural practices, beliefs, and social structure of a particular society. For example, this is a nice case study which explains how the cultural norm of paternalism is being reinforced through language use in India. Recently, Supreme Court ordered to remove gender stereotypes from the law book. The gender stereotypes words such as career woman, fallen woman, faithful or obedient woman, youth teasing, etc. are asked to be removed and has to be replaced with, for example, career woman has to be replaced with simply woman, and faithful or obedient wife has to be replaced with wife, etc. Why these two words are different? Wife is different from faithful or obedient wife. This words tries to signify the role and characteristics of a woman in a paternalistic society. It doesn't simply define a woman, rather it defines the role and characteristics. So I hope you would have understood how the language has been used to reinforce the paternalistic cultural norm in India. So this is one classic example. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is descriptive linguistics. So the goal of descriptive linguistics is to provide an accurate and comprehensive account of language's phonology. Phonology means sounds, morphology, how the word formation and structure is based, then the syntax, how the sentence structure is used, and the semantics, that is the meaning or the core meaning of the sentence. It seeks to document and understand the systems and patterns that underlie how languages are spoken and written by native speakers. So I hope you can easily think of where descriptive linguistics will be applicable. So it is mainly used to document and preserve dying languages. Example, endangered language project. So it is an online platform that documents endangered languages and promote efforts to preserve linguistic diversity. So the various approaches or methods used in linguistic anthropology is given here. That is participant observation. Next, the ethnography. So it's all similar to cultural anthropology, interviews and surveys, comparative analysis, and conversational analysis. One of the main relevance of linguistic anthropology is language preservation and revitalization. So we have already seen this example, endangered languages documentation program funded by Arcadia Fund. So it tries to document all the endangered languages to preserve the language diversity in the world. A prominent figure in linguistic anthropology is Sir Edward-sapir. He is a prominent anthropologist as well as a linguist. So one of his famous work is Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. So he conducted an extensive field work with Native American languages. Based on this study, he suggested that language influences thought and perception. Another prominent linguistic anthropologist is Benjamin Lee Whorf. He was influenced by Sapir and he expanded on the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis. He studied the Native Americans' Hopi language. One is Ganesh Devi. He is not a linguistic anthropologist, but his work broadly aligns with the goals of linguistic anthropology. He is created for the work of People Linguistic Survey of India. It is a comprehensive survey documenting the languages spoken across the country, with special emphasis on tribal and endangered languages. We have completed the discussion on linguistic anthropology. We will discuss more about this topic when we discuss chapter 7 of paper 1. Till then, goodbye. Thank you so much.